Welcome to the deep dive. We're the place where we take those sources you sent our way and really pull out the key insights.
That's right. Giving you that shortcut to being well-informed.
Exactly. And today, we are plunging deep into a really potent Neville Goddard lecture from 1965. It's called Law Storytelling Picture Taking.
Potent is the right word. This isn't just, philosophy for the sake of it.
No, the material you give us actually calls it a divine strategy, like a map showing how reality isn't just happening to you.
It's flowing from you. That's the core idea.
Yeah. So here's the big question we're tackling today, straight from the source. What if you could deliberately plant an image in your mind? So real, so vivid, that the universe just had to mirror it back.
That's the promise, isn't it?
Mhm.
And that's what we're going to unpack.
We'll explore these three kind of invisible mechanics of creation Neville talks about. There's the law of assumption, the art of storytelling,
Right.
and this surprising picture taping power of your subconscious. It's framed as the key to consciously shaping your world.
It really is a complete framework.
Okay, so let's start right there. At the foundation, what exactly is the law in Neville's world?
Well, it's striking how simple yet profound it is. Neville just states it. Imagination creates reality. Period.
Just like that. No wiggle room.
No wiggle room.
Hmm.
He presents it as a fundamental metaphysical principle, not a metaphor, not positive thinking, a law, like gravity.
Wow.
In his view, your imagination is God in action, and whatever you mentally accept as true, really truly accept deep down, well, it has no choice but to become physically expressed.
Okay. And you mentioned it operates impersonally.
Exactly.
Right.
That's crucial.
Hmm.
The law doesn't care if your assumptions are, quote unquote, good or bad. It just responds. It only reacts to the beliefs, the concepts you hold inside.
So it's like a mirror.
A perfect mirror. Neville said, your present world reflects your former self-concept. Change the concept and the world changes. Your outer world is just reflecting back your inner state. What we assume is true, even secretly in imagination. Consciousness has to push it out into the world.
Okay, hold on. If the universe isn't playing favorites and it's just mirroring us, that's huge.
It is.
It means you're not just, reacting to stuff that happens, you're actively projecting it.
You got it. The control panel isn't out there,
It's in here.
right inside.
So for you listening, this means you are undeniably a creator, not just sort of drifting along, but actively making your reality.
That's the takeaway. You're in the driver's seat, even if you didn't realize it.
All right. So foundation laid. Imagination creates reality. That's the law. But how do we use it? Like practically, how do we build with this law? Does Neville give us a tool?
Oh, absolutely. And it's something you're doing constantly, probably without even realizing it. It's storytelling.
Storytelling, like telling yourself stories.
Exactly. Neville says you are always telling yourself a story. Every single moment. About your worth, your job, your relationships, your health, what you can or can't do.
Okay.
And these internal scripts, they aren't just idle thoughts floating around. Neville calls them living energies.
Living energies. What does that mean?
It means they're not abstract. They're active, potent forces. They literally shape your inner state, your vibration, if you like, and they act as the blueprint for your physical life. What you tell yourself becomes your reality.
Right, because the subconscious is listening.
Precisely. And the subconscious, our inner director, doesn't really grasp logical arguments or language in the same way. It understands feeling, emotion.
Ah, so that's why the feeling is so important.
That's exactly why. The stories we tell ourselves have to be felt into being. Neville's instruction is clear. Construct inner scenes that are just drenched in emotion. Joy, relief, confidence, whatever fits the fulfilled desire. Because, as he always hammered home, feeling is the secret.
Feeling is the secret. Okay.
It's that emotional resonance that plants the seed deep in the subconscious. That's what makes it stick.
So how do you craft that story? Is it about wanting something?
No, that's the critical distinction. The story has to reflect the end, the desire already fulfilled.
Not, I want to be wealthy.
Right. Not I want. It's got to be, I am so grateful now that I have this amazing passive income stream, or it feels so wonderful being in this loving relationship. You live from the end result in your imagination.
Okay. Live in the end.
Yes. And Neville suggests choosing just one single scene. A brief moment that implies the whole desire is fulfilled.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, like maybe a friend shaking your hand and congratulating you on your success. Or feeling the weight of a wedding ring on your finger. Or maybe seeing a specific bank notification on your phone. Just one clear snapshot.
And then what? Just picture it once.
No, you loop it. You replay that short scene over and over in your mind, infusing it with feeling until it feels more real than your current reality, until it takes on the tones of reality, as you'd say.
Wow, okay. Looping it until it feels more real. That's intense.
It is. That's the work.
So we're building these narratives, feeling them deeply, but how do we stop them from just being, daydreams? How do we imprint them, make them stick? You mentioned Neville talks about being a mental photographer.
Exactly. That's the next piece. You capture that scene, that image full of life and feeling, and that mental snapshot becomes essentially an energetic command to your subconscious.
Energetic command. I like that.
But here's the kicker. It's not just about taking the picture from the outside. The crucial step is stepping into the picture. You have to be in it.
Ah, okay. Not just observing.
Right. Your subconscious accepts imagery as fact. It doesn't really distinguish that well between vividly imagined and physically real. So when you mentally rehearse being that new person, having that new thing, you are literally firing and wiring the neural pathways for that experience, as if it's happening now.
Like practicing in your mind.
Precisely. Neville really emphasized this. It's not enough to see the picture. You must be in the picture. You're not watching a movie. You experience it first person.
So if it's a handshake, I feel the grip.
You feel the grip. You hear the voice saying congratulations. You feel the emotion inside you. You're not watching yourself shake hands. You are shaking the hand.
Got it. First person perspective. That makes sense.
And he gave specific advice on when to do this most effectively.
Oh, yeah. When's the best time?
Just before sleep, in what he called the states akin to sleep, or SATs for short.
SATS. Okay.
Think about that drowsy state, right
Yeah.
before you drift off. That kind of hypnagogic twilight zone state.
Yeah, where you're not quite awake, not quite asleep.
Exactly. Your conscious, analytical mind starts to quiet down then, and your subconscious becomes incredibly receptive, like fertile soil just waiting for seeds.
So that's the prime time for this mental photography.
That's your window. You become the storyteller, the picture taker. You enter your scene, feel it real, and just let it sink into your subconscious without your conscious mind arguing or interfering.
That's fascinating, using that natural state. Okay, so putting this all together, the law, the story, the picture, what does this mean for, like, real transformation? Can it actually change who you fundamentally are? Or even change the past? That sounds pretty radical.
It is radical, and it leads to one of Neville's most striking instructions in this lecture. Write your own obituary.
Write your obituary. That sounds morbid.
Huh, it does. But it's purely metaphysical. He means you need to mentally declare the death of your old identity.
The death of the old self.
Yes. If you've been identifying as sick, for example, you mentally conduct the funeral for that sick self. You imagine burying the broke self or the lonely self. And in that same imaginative act, you give birth to the new version, the healthy, abundant, loved version.
So it's like shedding an old skin.
Exactly. He said, you must be willing to die to the old man before the new can rise. It's a self-concept, death and resurrection. You're not just tweaking the old you. You're fundamentally becoming someone else in your own conception.
A complete internal overhaul.
A total overhaul. And you touched on changing the past. While it's not the main theme here, that power of vision is definitely humming beneath the surface.
Revision, you mean changing memories?
In your imagination, yes. Neville taught that the past isn't actually fixed. You can go back in your mind to a past event, maybe something that bothers you, and revise the scene. Replay it as you wish it had happened.
And the subconscious buys it.
The subconscious accepts the revised version as the truth. And since your present reality is often built on the emotional baggage of the past, revising that past scene changes its emotional impact now.
So it changes how you feel about the past, which changes your present state.
Exactly. It releases those old anchors, those emotional charges that might be unconsciously shaping your current experiences. It's incredibly powerful.
Wow. Okay, editing the past. That's a mind bender. But, playing devil's advocate for a second, for someone hearing this for the first time, doesn't it all sound a bit spiritual? A bit out there? Is there any, I don't know, scientific overlap?
It's actually amazing how much modern neuroscience seems to be catching up with what Neville was saying decades ago. It's really fascinating.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, take mirror neurons, for instance,
Yeah.
and mental rehearsal. Science now shows that when you vividly imagine doing something, so shooting a basketball, playing piano, or even just feeling confident, your brain activates the exact same neural networks as if you were physically doing it.
Really? The same parts of the brain light up?
The very same. These mirror neurons are basically the biological underpinning of Neville's picture-taking and being in the scene.
No.
Your brain, at that level, doesn't sharply distinguish between a deeply felt imagined act, and a physical one.
So imagining success literally trains your brain for success.
In a very real biological way, yes.
Absolutely.
And then there's neuroplasticity.
Right, the brain changing itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The brain's proven ability to physically rewire itself based on repeated thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Neville's methods predate the term, but they're perfectly aligned. When you consistently live in the end in your imagination,
Uh-huh.
you are literally forging new neural pathways. You're rewiring your subconscious identity. And as Neville insisted, reality eventually has to conform to that new inner blueprint. It must catch up.
So it's not just wishful thinking. There's a biological mechanism at play. Your brain is physically changing.
It seems that way. It makes the whole process feel much more tangible, doesn't it? Almost like having a user manual for your own mind.
It really does. Okay, so bringing this all home for you listening.
Okay.
How do you actually do this? How do you make Lost Story Picture a practical daily thing?
Neville laid out a pretty clear step-by-step process, especially for that essays practice before sleep.
All right, walk us through it.
Right. Step 1, relax. Get comfortable before sleep. Take some deep breaths, close your eyes, and just ease into that drowsy, receptive essayed state.
Step 1, relax. Got it.
Step 2, choose one desire. Be specific, somebody you really want, something that has an emotional charge for you. Don't try to manifest a shopping list, just one thing at a time.
Specific thing.
Step 3, create a single short scene, a little mental movie clip that implies your wish is already fulfilled. Not the asking, not the getting, but the having. Like we discussed the handshake, the ring, the text message.
A brief scene implying fulfillment.
Step 4,
Yeah.
enter that scene, first person. Hear it, see it, touch it, feel it from inside the experience. Make it vivid and real to you.
Be in the picture.
Exactly. Step 5, feel it real. This is crucial. Allow the feeling of the wish-fulfilled gratitude, joy, relief, excitement, whatever fits, to really bloom inside you. Feel it as if it's already done.
Soak in the feeling.
Yes. Step 6, repeat. Loop that scene with feeling for, say, 3 to 5 nights minimum, or longer, until it feels natural, automatic, like a memory you already possess.
Repeat until it feels like a done deal.
Pretty much. And finally, step 7, live from that new identity during the day. Let your thoughts, assumptions, and even your actions start to align with the person who has that fulfilled desire. Carry that feeling with you.
Live from the end during waking hours, too.
That's the idea. Consistency is key.
And is there anything else? Like a bonus tip?
Yeah, actually, remember revision. On nights when you've had a tough day, don't just go to sleep stewing on it. Before you drift off, revise the day.
Edit the day.
Yeah. Go back in your imagination. Replay the difficult parts the way you wish they'd gone. Tell a better story. Take a better mental picture of the interactions. Feel the relief of the revised version. It helps release the negative charge before sleep.
That's a great tip. So you don't carry that negativity into your subconscious programming time.
Exactly. Neville really saw this whole practice as a kind of sacred art, maybe even a metaphysical technology. When you do it consistently, it becomes the bedrock for deliberately creating your reality.
So there you have it, the core message from Neville's law storytelling picture taking. It really isn't just about visualizing something out there.
No, it's about identifying with it. It's about becoming the person who already has their desire fulfilled right now in imagination.
When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you become that reality internally first. And that shift, like the source material says, that shift is everything.
It truly is. The inner change precedes the outer change. Always.
So as you go about your day, maybe tonight especially, as you're lying there in bed, try not to just replay the old worries or regrets. Remember this idea. You are the storyteller of your own universe. You're not just a spectator watching it unfold.
You're the author, the director.
The law isn't some external force judging you. It is you. It's your own consciousness in operation. Your subconscious is the canvas.
And imagination is the brush.
Exactly. So the question to leave you with is, what new story are you going to start writing today? What picture will you decide to step into tonight?
If you embrace that, if you really commit to the feeling, well, as Neville would say, the law takes care of the rest.